Hello, friends. I am Dr. Barbie Wasson with River Point Family Acupuncture, and this is River Point's podcast where we get to the point on all things acupuncture, health, and vitality in the River Valley. Today, we have a nice little bonus episode for you. Yes, this is the second episode of the week. Yesterday, we talked about why muscle is such a big deal. Blood sugar, bone density, mood, aging, all of it. If you haven't listened yet, go back and listen to that one. And then hit this one up because today we are getting very practical. If you listened to that episode and thought, okay, I get it, I need muscle, but where do I even start? This one is for you. No boot camps, no go hard or go home, just clear, doable steps to start building muscle in a way that your body can actually tolerate and maintain. So I'm just going to go through 10 little tips for you. Tip number 1, decide your why and make it a real one. Really think about this one. Before we take steps, before we talk sets and reps, I want you to have a real reason, not I should or because my doctor said so. Ask yourself, what do I want my body to be able to do in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? Who or what do I want to be able to keep up with? Kids, grandkids, pets, patients, garden, travel? What am I tired of feeling limited by? Write down one reason that feels true and feels really authentic. Think about, things like I want to get up off the floor without feeling like an anvil, or I want to hike on vacation and not pay for it for 2 weeks. I want my blood sugar to calm down and get my doctor off my back. That reason is what you come back to when motivation disappears, which it will. It always does. Tip number 2, start with 2 days, not 7. The research is very kind to beginners. You can get real benefit with just 2 days a week of strength training, as long as you show up consistently. So instead of promising yourself a 6-day schedule, you will secretly resent and probably start to avoid, start with this: 2 days per week, full body each day, keep it short. 20 to 40 minutes per session is all it really takes. And probably in the beginning, keep it closer to 20. That is it. If you add a third day later, great, but 2 days a week done for months will always beat perfect 6 days a week for 2 weeks. Think about it as what is the amount of effort you can put in that you can remain consistent with. I don't care how small it is. If you can stay consistent with it, then that is where you start. And that's just how you build momentum painlessly. Tip number 3, use simple, repeatable movements. You do not need 20 different exercises. You need a few basic patterns you repeat and slowly improve. Think in categories instead of fancy names. Think something that pushes, like a wall push-up or light dumbbell press. Something that pulls, like a band row. Something for your legs, like a squat to chair or step-ups. Something for your hips or glutes, like a bridge or a wall sit. An optional one, a carry, holding weights while you walk. It's called a farmer's carry. That can be really great for the core as well. That is all you need for a simple full body workout. You can do this at home with bands, light dumbbells, a sturdy chair or bench, or you can just use your own body weight. If you already have a home gym, great. You are simply plugging these patterns into the equipment you have. If you don't have equipment at home and no motivation to join a gym, hop onto YouTube and pick a beginner body weight routine to get you started. We live in the age of free internet resources. You should start using them. Tip number 4, sets, reps, and how hard. Let's make this ridiculously simple. For most beginners, a good starting place is 2 to 3 sets per exercise and 8 to 12 reps per set. The last few reps should feel challenging, but not completely falling apart on form. If you lose your form, you're lifting too heavy, especially in the beginning. So make sure that you're able to keep your form through all your reps. If you feel like you could do a lot more reps after you're done, then you're probably lifting too light. You should feel like you could do 2 to 3 more reps with good form, but are choosing not to. That level is enough to signal your body, hey, we need more muscle, without flattening you out for 3 days. We want to avoid delayed onset muscle soreness so that you can get to your next workout when it's time. Tip number 5, progress without breaking yourself. Your body builds muscle when you give it a slightly bigger challenge over time, and this is called progressive overload. You don't need to overhaul everything each week. Just choose one way to progress. You can do that by adding a small amount of weight to your exercise you're already doing. You could add 1 to 2 reps per set, or you could add 1 extra set for 1 or 2 of the exercises. You don't want to do all 3 of those at once. You can also slow down the movement for a more controlled, harder lift. So every week you think 5 to 10% more, not 50% or more. If you increase too fast, your body responds with joint pain, exhaustion, or even dread of your workout. That's feedback, not failure. So lighten the load a little bit if that happens. Tip number 6, recovery counts as part of the plan. Strength training is the signal. The actual adaptation happens when you're resting. So part of your program is getting enough protein to give your muscles building blocks, and also getting enough sleep so your body can repair, and taking at least 1 day off between strength days for the same muscles. So if you are separating out your muscle groups like upper body, lower body, make sure you're getting at least a day of rest in between that muscle group. Soreness is not always the goal. I know we like to feel the progress, but we want to make sure that your ability is still there after your workout. So if you are so sore that sitting on the toilet requires emotional support, we definitely overshot. And you might be thinking to yourself, sounds like she's speaking from experience. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, but don't overdo it. Tip number 7. What if you're afraid of injury or you're coming back from surgery? This is pretty personal for me, and this is where things need to get more specific for you if you fit into this category. If you have joint pain, a history of injury, or recent surgery, your plan simply needs more guardrails and sometimes professional eyes. That might look like smaller ranges of motion at first, using machines or bands instead of heavy free weights, avoiding high pressure positions, especially important for abdominal and pelvic history, starting with just 1 to 2 sets and building up. You are allowed to go slower. You are not allowed to opt out forever because you're scared. Muscle is too important for that. And if you really feel like a fish out of water and you're worried about these things, let's get you into a physical therapist who can kind of guide you on your exercises. Acupuncture, of course, can also be a support at this phase by reducing pain, calming the nervous system, and helping your body tolerate training better, especially if you are dealing with chronic tension, inflammation, or nervous system that feels like a threat mode. Tip number 8, how to know it is working. In the beginning, especially if you're trying to lose weight, focus less on the scale and more on these questions. Do I feel more stable or steady when I move? Am I less winded doing the same tasks? Is the weight I started with beginning to feel easier? Are daily chores slightly less annoying for my body? Or do I feel a tiny bit more confident walking into the gym or picking up weights at home? These are all big wins. The scale will often lag behind while your body recomposes, building muscle, changing water balance, and recalibrating. So sometimes you're losing fat while gaining muscle and you don't see a change on the scale. So focus on these other things instead. Tip number 9, make it feel as friction-free as possible and remove as many obstacles as you can. You just need to get out of your own way. So you got to keep your weights or bands in a visible, easy to reach place. Put your workout days into your calendar like an appointment. Decide ahead of time what you are doing on that day so that you don't have any decision fatigue and no excuses. And another thing, if you are the type of person that doesn't get the harder things done when they don't get done right away, then make your workout your first thing in the morning. Also, keep your workouts short enough that you can't talk yourself out of them. You do not need to be motivated. You need a plan simple enough that a tired version of you will still stick to. And tip number 10, if you need help, ask. If you are listening and thinking, okay, I want this, but I still feel intimidated, that is completely normal. You're not lazy. You are just trying to change something important without a clear map. This is where support matters. And this is where people like physical therapists and personal trainers can be really helpful. But also at River Point Family Acupuncture, we look at your muscle story in context of everything else: your digestion, stress, sleep, hormones, injuries, and real life schedule. Then we help you build a plan that it feels realistic to you and your own body composition. So that is it for today's bonus episode of River Points Podcast. I hope you found this helpful, and I really hope it inspired you to start a new strength training routine. Remember, I'm here for you to cheer you on and help you recover from any unintentional injuries. With wishes of wellness and weightlifting motivation, I am Dr. Barbie Wasson, your friendly neighborhood strength encourager, reminding you that future you will be very grateful you picked something heavy up this week.